I'm going to hand it to my colleague, Jackie Zweig. Jackie?
Thanks, Pam. So this study is going to focus on the professional experiences of online teachers in Wisconsin, and it presents the results from a survey administered by Wisconsin Virtual School to their online teachers about their training experiences and the challenges they face teaching in an online environment. And I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge my co-authors, Erin Stafford, who will be presenting with me today, as well as Angela Pazzalia and Peggy Clements. And as we'll discuss throughout this presentation, this report really is a true collaboration between the researchers at Rail Midwest and the online learning programs who are part of this Virtual Education Research Alliance. Before we jump into the study questions and findings, we thought it would be helpful to provide some additional context. State virtual schools exist in about 24 states, and they're serving almost a 500,000 students. And at the same time, only 4 states and the District of Columbia require teachers to participate in training or professional development that's specifically related to online instruction. There is little guidance about what kinds of training and professional development online teachers should receive. And since we know that online training presents unique challenges that are unlike those of a traditional face-to-face environment, the Rail Midwest Virtual Education Research Alliance identified a need for better information about online teachers' experiences with training and professional development. And this fits with the Alliance's goals of understanding how best to support students in online courses. And we worked together to develop a survey to examine the training and experiences of online teachers. And so this report focuses on the results from Wisconsin Virtual School, who administered the survey to their teachers. And now I'm going to turn it over to Erin to talk a little bit about the research questions and survey administration.
Thanks, Jackie. So as an alliance, we sat down, and whenever you bring practitioners in the field and researchers together, there is no shortage of questions. And so we sat down and we narrowed it down for this study to the 3 following questions. The first question related to what percentage of online teachers Wisconsin Virtual School had that were participating in training or professional development related specifically to K-12 online instruction. And Wisconsin Virtual School directors wanted to know across the course of their careers, not directly just while they were employed by Wisconsin Virtual School. Additionally, what was the timing, duration, format, and the content of the training they were receiving or had received over the course of their career. In the meantime, what challenges were they still facing in their online teaching environments? And then what types of training or professional development, if any, would they indicate as teachers that they would help them overcome their challenges? And then when would that be most helpful to them in terms of when that was delivered? From these core questions, we developed a survey that was adapted from other surveys that are out there in the field. And there's a lot of people who are thinking about and working hard on these topics, including the Going Virtual study that was done by Dolly and her colleagues in 2010, sorry. We came up with 19 close-ended questions, and for those of you who are interested in looking at that survey, if you download the report, it is an appendix in the report. So when we went to administer the survey, first just a little bit of context about WVS, and our colleagues from WVS will speak to this in a little bit. WVS is an online learning program that offers supplemental courses to students enrolled in traditional brick-and-mortar schools. It's been around since 2000 and serves over 5,000 students in more than half of Wisconsin's public school districts. It offers professional development opportunities for its teachers and requires some training as part of their program. In the fall of 2014, the directors of Wisconsin Virtual School distributed the survey to its 54 online teachers. And the results you're about to see are based on the 48 teachers who indicated they had taught a course in the previous year or were to teach a course in the current school year. Just to note, you'll hear from other colleagues that we have from Iowa Learning Online and Kirkwood Community College at the end of this presentation, who also administered the survey to their teachers, and so you'll hear some of their results as well. As we move into the results, just a little bit of note about those teachers who responded to the survey. 96% of the respondents taught in a traditional face-to-face classroom before teaching online. And we think this is a pretty interesting statistic. 56% actually were simultaneously teaching in a traditional face-to-face classroom while teaching in an online classroom. And teachers reported an average of 7 years or more online teaching experience. Almost all teachers were focused on teaching high school online courses. So that's just a little bit about our sample, and now I'm going to turn it back over to Jackie, who's going to get some of your thoughts in a poll before discussing the findings for Wisconsin.
Thanks, Erin. Yeah, so we would like to pull up our second poll, and this poll is going to ask you, based on your experience, when you think most teachers receive training related to online instruction. During their pre-service education, prior to teaching online, but after pre-service education, while teaching online, or during all 3 time periods. The poll should be open. Great. Can we see the results? Excellent. So most people chose while teaching online, with the lowest being during their pre-service education. Let's move back to the slides and I'll show you the results for WVS. So similar to what you indicated here, most teachers reported that they received professional development while teaching online, 88%, while the least commonly reported time period was during pre-service education. And only about 17% of teachers reported participating in training during all 3 time periods. It should be noted that 100% of the responding teachers received training at some point to be an online teacher. And WVS will talk a little bit about their professional development offerings and expectations for their online teachers in a few minutes. And the most commonly reported professional development experiences included attending a multi-day workshop or conference, and about 90% indicated that they participated in either the multi-day or the ongoing training sessions. The least frequently reported types of professional development included observing a colleague, and then about a little more than a quarter of teachers reported independently reviewing online discussion forums, websites, or blogs, or receiving support from an administrator. Not surprisingly, teachers reported participating in training or professional development in various practice areas. 100% of teachers reported participating in PD related to technology, while only 25% reported participating in training around how you support students with special needs. A little over half of teachers reported participating in training that covered at least 6 of these 9 practice areas. WS teachers' most frequently reported challenges were related to student perseverance and student engagement. For example, over 85% of teachers indicated at least some challenge related to getting students to complete the course, to interact with each other, and to complete assignments. 2 other areas that teachers noted were challenges, where more than 3/4 of teachers reported at least some challenge, was getting students to take responsibility for their work and getting students to stay engaged throughout the course. Teachers reported fewer challenges that were related to working conditions and professional practices, with things like keeping up with students' communications and feeling isolated from colleagues being at the lower end of the challenges that they were facing. And we are going to put up another poll now before we reveal the findings related to the preferred types of professional development, to see, based on your experience, what type of professional development do you think online teachers prefer? Structured professional development, such as graduate courses and workshops, or unstructured professional development, such as mentoring, online forums, website searches. Okay, can we see the results? So unstructured was voted to be the type of professional development that most people think teachers prefer. And you're going to see that in the slides, that is also what the WES teachers preferred. So most teachers preferred unstructured professional development rather than structured professional development. So for example, and this is particularly true for the top challenges that we just talked about. So for example, 51% of teachers reported that they believed unstructured professional development would help them support students completing an online course, compared with 28% who thought structured professional development would help them address that challenge. And so it is important to note that for each of the top 5 challenges, between 9 and 21% of teachers indicated that additional professional development was not necessary. And before we turn it over to the leaders of Wisconsin Virtual School, I'm going to ask Erin to talk a little bit about the general implications of these findings.
Thanks, Jackie. So really for us, there were 2 core areas that we saw as implications. The first one being that this was one study with one program, and for us that led us to think other state online learning programs, state departments of education, employers of online teachers, may also wish to examine these types of questions around training and professional development over the careers of their teachers and how those professional development opportunities are currently being offered within their jurisdictions. The other area of implications led us to a variety of questions that, as researchers, we felt could be further studied, and for our practitioner colleagues, they felt that they could really dig into in their programs. And those questions fell into 3 areas. One was related to instructional practice, and really around how can online teachers better engage their students in online courses. Other questions that we had related to professional development, what structures and policies are out there, or what might be necessary for online teacher professional development. And are different types of training opportunities available to meet the varied needs of our online teachers? Are both structured and unstructured opportunities offered to address the challenges they are actually facing in their environments? And the third area related to training. When and how are teachers being trained? And how should or could pre-service programs integrate online teacher training into their pre-service education? As we said earlier, other online programs may want to administer this survey or a type of survey like this, and you can access the survey via the appendix of the report.